Welcome back to my little conspiracy. My name is Insane Raven, and this is Tales of the Hunt, the bi-weekly podcast where we start talking about trophies, platinum trophies, and games, and all the happy memories we go through, talking about them and picking them up. Today I want to talk about Untitled Goose Game, the Honking Good game. Developed by House. The original concept of the game was actually done during a game jam where developers have 24 hours to make a game, or at the very least a rough approximation of a game. And some of my favorite games have actually come out of this kind of process. We are talking about Untitled Goose Game. We're talking about Coffee Talk. I don't know why my brain suddenly melted down, but a lot of these games and other games like it, a lot of these games come from game jams. A lot of these indie games, a lot of these games that really it feels like development for the love of development of games. And it's one of the reasons why I am so happy to be able to talk about Untitled Goose Game. I bought the lovely edition of Untitled Goose Game, which came with a sticker, which I happily put on my laptop. It came with a biodegradable all paper game case with a special sleeve. It also came with an art book giving detailed explanations of all the assets that are found in game. Untitled Goose Game was originally going to have an actual title for the game, but fans at the game jam and fans otherwise outside who had heard about the game kind of fell in love with the quirky nature of the title Untitled Goose Game. And House deciding that, hey, why throw away something that people already love, and ended up keeping the title of the game, later giving it multiplayer support, which is just the weirdest fucking thing, and continually showing support for their quirky little goose game. Now, the point of Untitled Goose Game is that you can pretty much finish it off easily within 2 hours. There's not a lot of content here, but for a Metal Gear Goose, as I've heard it called, and a Goose Simulator game, it's a really fun time. Just having fun and doing shenanigans as a goose, as an irate, angry goose. And as a raven, I have to give some love and support to, other gooses out there and other birds. Pretty much, if you want me to play a game, just slap a bird in the title of it, and I'll probably play it eventually. That's how, after I got The Boy and His Pelican, which ended up being an advertisement for a movie with the same title, which I never saw and I probably should see, being that I did talk about A Boy and His Pelican on the podcast. And now we have Untitled Goose Game. If Skatebird ever makes it to PS4 with a platinum trophy, you'll bet your bottom dollar I'll play it. Skatebird, for those of you who don't know, is another indie game also made at a game jam that basically just like, hey, what if we took skateboarding and made all the characters birds? Unfortunately, it's only for Switch and for Steam and PC players at the moment, but maybe one day it'll come to PlayStation and I'll be able to play it and talk about it on my trophy hunting channel, because I boxed myself in a corner. Anyway, we are here to talk about Untitled Goose Game, a game who is basically, if you were ever to make a comedy into a video game, playing as this honking goose, flapping your wings around like a lunatic, is a lot of fun. And I don't really feel like I need to explain how fun this game is, because it is phenomenal. It is a type of game where it's like, if you have people in your life who aren't really into gaming, just be like, hey, just watch me play a game about a goose, okay? And it's just fun and dumb and dorky and kind of lovely. I loved this game, and so did the internet, as it rapidly took the world by storm. I'm pretty sure even fucking Lady Gaga was tweeting about it when it first came out, way back when. So, hey, if you haven't tried it out, play it. It has Lady Gaga star level of approval. And God knows I don't. So, let's actually look at our trophy list to see what we have going on. Now, it is important to know that doing this game, there are two ways of doing this game. You can play this game normally, or you can play it with a trophy list. Either way, you're gonna have a good time, since the story of this game is you're a pissed off goose. Honk honk, motherfucker. Go do it. But if you're playing it just for the story with the information readily given to you, it's a fun time. And in fact, you'll probably get more time out of this game if you're playing the game as it's more or less meant to be played, with you experimenting and with different scenarios and being just a horrible, mean-spirited goose. It's kind of great. But if you're all playing it with a trophy list next to you, a lot of the possible surprises get taken away, which isn't abnormal for trophy hunters at all. It's kind of par for the course, unfortunately. But with this game, with some of the things being so obtuse and it being so left up to the player of how you want to do things, there's an argument to go both ways, if I'm honest. Now, I didn't do that. I wanted to know all of my possibilities that I could do from the start. I didn't want to know how to do it, but I wanted to know what I could do. An Untitled Goose game has you scratch off a to-do list with pencil on a notebook paper of all things, because this is a goose with a schedule, damn it. And this goose has some words. But playing on through, you find that throughout your notebook, as you continue to go through this little town, utterly terrorizing everything in it, that you have a couple of pages in the back of your notebook that are just question marks. These are going to be a lot of your other trophies. For a main playthrough of your game, without looking at what trophy requirements are, there are 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 main areas of the game: the garden, the back streets, the backyard, and the pub. Really not a lot of content here, like I said at the beginning. But it is, again, still worth it. However, that does translate to a pretty small trophy list if you're not looking at for other things. I chose from the get-go, like I said earlier, to just know what some of the hidden requirements were, mostly because I had a good giggle just looking at the requirements. So, with this being another bird game, it is a pretty quick run through. Unfortunately, there's not a lot you can do with a bird as a main character. Honk honk, caw caw, conspiracy. But, so with this trophy list only sitting at about... Wow, I just lost connection and everything crashed. Okay. With this game only having 25 trophy lists, it is 25 trophies, including the platinum. It does get pretty short of a discussion. And with 4 of them being just play the game, information given to you, and 4 of them being speed runs of the exact same thing that you did earlier, a lot of your trophies kind of come from your secret agendas. And this requires you to start to really learn the layout of this little tight-knit towny community. It's very much the same kind of town that I could picture could have been around with Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. I could easily imagine a whole farmland off to the side of this little street we're going through. This is a game that is meant to be fun and short and not to outstay its welcome. So I'm going to start going through these lists and pretty much start spoiling a lot of the extra material that if you want to experiment and play the game free, this is pretty much where I recommend you get off now. Not because this not information that I'm going to be talking about, but it's all the information that the game hides from you while making clear all possibilities, if that makes sense. a lot of these trophies go with the experimentation of what you can do with these characters. Alright? Alright. So let's get us going. The first trophy I got was Nasty. Lock the groundskeeper out of the garden. What you're going to do here is that you are going to run outside of the garden with an item that the groundskeeper wants. It really doesn't matter which one, as long as you take his item. Then you're going to grab his keys, run around the left side of the garden, through the hole in the hedges, drop the keys off there, run back as he's picking up his random other item, and you've presumably made it away, and go ahead and close the gates. This then locks it, keeping him outside and getting you a trophy. The next trophy I got was the garden, which is for completing the garden to-do list. This is the list of items that you get as you just playing the game. Ghastly. Trip the boy in the puddle. This is for tying his shoes once he has lost his glasses, and as he takes a step forward, make sure he's in the puddle towards the beginning of the level, and you're going to go ahead and trip him, causing the Ghastly trophy to pop. Noisy. Make the shop scales go ding. This trophy can be kind of difficult because the shopkeeper is actually going to be taking away all of the items you're adding, so you need to get your items on that scale quickly without her really being any wiser. What I recommend doing in this case is locking her in the garage and then hightailing it over to the scale and just adding items onto the scale until it goes ding. I think you need about 4 or 5 items. I'm not remembering off the top of my head, but what's important here isn't the size of the items, it's the fact that they're still on the scale and how quickly you can get them on before the shopkeeper either shakes you away with her broom handle or things start falling off. The next trophy is going to be Unlucky. Open an umbrella inside a TV shop. Again, not a bad time. Run inside a TV shop. Attack the umbrella with your goosey ass neck. Have it go pop. Trophy goes pop. Everyone's all good. The high street. Complete the high street to-do list. And just like that, you are halfway through your game. Next thing up is Yummy. A trophy I got by going back to the garden and pulling out a cabbage through the hole in the fence and dragging it all the way over to our picnic table. That'll get you another trophy and scratch something off of your hidden to-do list. Next thing up was Careful, catch an object that is thrown over the fence. This is going to be in the back gardens area when you have your 2 irate neighbors who really just don't like each other giving items back. Instead of handing them like a normal person, they'll pretty much just heave stuff over the fence with the whole energy of "keep your shit off my lawn" type energy. I did this with a sock, and what you want to do is pretty much be in the middle of the fish statue, the frog statue, the plant, and the planter. Be in the middle of that little section and you should be able to catch it, not a problem. Keep in mind, your timing will be important here. Pretty. Dress up the bust with things from outside of the garden. I ended up doing this with the hats of the gardener and the harmonica of the guy in the bar because I am a bastard. Next thing up is Lovely. Sail the toy boat under a bridge. What you need to do here is take the boat from the toy shop in High Street, take it up and around all the way over to the bar area, toss it in the water, and just kind of drift with it. That sets the toy a sail, and you get Lovely, a Lovely trophy. Nimble, score a goal. This is for getting a soccer ball, again, from the High Street market all the way over through the back gardens into the goal right before the big transition that leads you into the tavern area. This one is more frustrating just because the controls aren't quite as easy to navigate as they should be, especially now when you're going to be having a bunch of characters trying to stop you. Fortunately though, the black man in the one garden will chuck the ball overhead on the other side of the fence, covering that little bit of ground. Now it's just up to you to get it throughout the other garden and outside to the outside area. Not that bad. That got me. I finished up the back gardens area with the back gardens trophy for completing the back gardens to-do list. And the word back gardens no longer means anything. Make the man go barefoot was the final to-do list I had there. So there you go. Elegance. Perform at the pub wearing a ribbon. What you need to do here is you need to stand as a statue in the back gardens until you are given a lovely ribbon. Once you get that, honk at the lady to terrify her, run all the way through, and then go perform for the two lovely ladies sitting down, and they're going to ask you for a performance. They'll start mimicking certain emotions that you can do in their human-like ways. Their strange, unformed human-like ways, who do not know the ways of the goose. But as you start performing, you'll scratch this item off your to-do list, and thereby getting another trophy. Cheeky. This is for stealing the old man's woolen hats from the bar scene. What you want to do here is steal the chair from him, then take his hat as he's lying on the floor. Probably in a lot of pain because, he's an elderly gentleman and you made him fall on his bum. You asshole. Next thing is Dreadful. Trap the boy in the garage. This is back on the high street market. What you want to do is just terrify this young boy who has terrified of birds, which I really should do that for a phobia month. A bird phobia? I feel like that could be fun. I could do Black Ops 3 because of all of that. I'm getting sidetracked. This is what happens. But scale that poor defenseless boy into the garage, close the garage on him, and you are a dreadful little bird, aren't you? The pub. This is for completing the to-do list. The pub to-do list. Again, not that difficult. They'll tell you what you need to do the entire time. Now we have thank you for playing our game. Our video game. This is for finishing the game and uncovering the dastardly goose's main scheme. For getting through all the areas and then hightailing it all the way back through it with your special prize. Which I'm not going to spoil because that'd be mean. And I do think you deserve something of a surprise. Beautiful. Collect the 5 flowers. This trophy actually kind of sucks. This is a trophy that you're going to get for going around and really knowing your neighborhood. There's a flower in each of the areas that you can find in the game, and one of them in the crosswalks in between area of the game. There's one from the old man's garden. There's one the garden, the backyards. You get one for performing in the pub. I think you can steal one from the high street markets lady, but I'm not entirely sure on that one. But of course, they'll always go in the guides that you can find to go more into it. Beautiful, in my opinion, is more of a test of your environmental awareness than anything. I was going to say that it's like your true test of skill in the arts of Untitled Goose Game, but it's not, because we have speedrun trophies to get through, and those are going to push you to your limits. Devious. Make someone from outside the high street buy back their own stuff. This is what you're going to do here is actually steal one of the groundskeeper from the garden. You're going to steal one of his tools, run all the way over to the high street with him kind of barking at you, drop it there, get the old lady's attention, who is then going to argue that she owes you money. You owe her money. That's what I meant to say. And Tribute, get thrown over the fence. Alright, so what you going to do with this one? Because this one is a bit complicated. In the pub scene, there is a purple box that gets carried all the way over. What you need to do is you need to wait for the delivery person to go inside with a box. You then need to grab that purple box, drag it all the way back over to the back gardens. What you then need to do is get into the box on the black man's side of the thing. He's gonna box you up. With the box sitting there, he's going to chuck you over the box. You're going to go flying. You're going to pop out like, what the fuck, man? And then you'll be A-okay. And then we have our speed run trophies. Each one of these are pretty much getting done in 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, depending on the level. So you don't have a lot of room for error. Thankfully, you have a totally doable reset button, and you don't have to do these all in one go. So you can go back and do it one, come back in, be fine, and then go back again. You have that sort of flexibility, which is something that I wish all speedrun trophies did. But unfortunately, some of them just require you to be godlike at their game. And like I said earlier, with some parts of Untitled Goose Game's driving, it does get pretty difficult. You're not so much piloting a goose as you're piloting a snowmobile. Yeah, you can start putting on the gas and you'll get a bit more control, but you're still slipping on ice. And I kind of dig it. It's the kind of control system that I would hate in other games, but for some reason, this quirky game, it just works. So, I did the gardens quickly for finishing the initial to-do list. Once you know you get it done because you get a little stamp saying how much you have to get done. You'll also get a little sticky note telling you how much you have to get done. And it's not that bad. It's the initial to-do list, not the secret items on the other list that we would have gotten trophies for. It's the list that you start out for that you get for doing the garden to-do list complete and those kind of trophies. Not that bad. Just a bit of a nightmare to explain. So then do it all over again for the garden, the high street, the back gardens, and the pub, and you're going to get 4 gold trophies, which are all sitting at about 4.6%. For the pub, 4.9% for the back gardens, 6.2% in the high street, and 6.5% in the gardens. The thing that's going to cost you the most amount of time in the pub is the 2 old men. Having the one guy hit his bum is going to be really difficult because the timing is not actually where you think it is. He needs to hoist up his pants, and then you need to take it as he kind of goes down for it. And the waiting for the guy to drop the burly man's head, that bucket, is also going to be a bit more time consuming than you'll like. The pub is going to require you to get a couple of things going more or less simultaneously, which isn't easy to do, but definitely worth it. Then a secret prize. Earn every other trophy. I highly implore that you go back to your home to get what your secret prize is. I'm not going to spoil it for you because I absolutely loved it, and I think that you're going to get a good giggle out of seeing it. But yes, those are all the trophies for Untitled Goose Game. Another one for our bird collection, as it were. Next week, I don't know what I'll be doing just yet. I know, yes, I do. It's going to be another smaller indie type game, and then we're going to go into some bigger games for a month. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed the discussion, and, let me know. What other indie games do you want me to play? What other indie games do you want me to discuss? Do you feel like I'm missing one that just needs more attention? And I would love to give it that attention, even though we are but a small conspiracy of ravens here. Thank you guys for listening. I will see you guys in my next episode. Bye-bye.